Hi Vanessa at The Girl on a Bike, and in this video I'm going to be talking about whether you should get a 350 or a 500 motorcycle. So this is one of those questions I get asked quite a lot in the comments. What size motorcycle should I get? Now, right now I'm sat on a Husqvarna 501 and I've just got back from an 1800 kilometer trip around Tasmania, which is an island off Australia, on this bike doing every single type of terrain you could possibly wish for. Seriously, you need to check out that series and you need to get Tasmania on your bucket list. I've been here with the Ultimate Cape Escape and it is by far the best off-road, adventure, hard enduro, touring bike holiday I've ever been on. Absolutely incredible. I couldn't recommend it more. So check out that video. But it had me thinking, I'm here on a 501 and when I saw that the Ultimate Cape Escape were using the 501, I was a little bit like, wow, that's a really big bike. And you're telling me we do technical terrain? Can you really do technical terrain on a 501? This is from someone who rides a little two-stroke and has done, Red Bull Romaniacs and does technical stuff. My brain was like, why would you want such a big bike if you're going to do technical terrain? And considering I get asked so much about what size bike I should buy, I thought I'd give you a bit of food for thought to help you decide what bike to get. This video isn't going to tell you you should get that bike because it's really personal. People often ask me like, what's the best bike I should start on? And it really depends on how your bum feels on the seat and giving it a ride. So I really do encourage you to try and go to a dealer and go for a test ride. If you can't test ride that kind of bike off-road, which is often the case, find somewhere where you can ride that bike off-road. And enduro riding holidays are really good examples. So here, the Ultimate Cape Escape, you can ride a Husqvarna 501 off-road and give it a test ride for a week. You could go to Dust Devils in Spain and ride a two-stroke for a few days. You could go to Belize and ride, there's places all over the world where you can ride different bikes, and so be creative if you want to test ride it before you put your money on the table. So I'm going to get focused because I'm waffling. Now, a couple of few things to think about. In the Husqvarna range, the KTM range, they really are largely the same bikes. There's a little bit of a chassis variation and an ergonomics, so they do feel slightly different. So this conversation kind of fits across the system. Now, the 501 and the 350 are actually pretty much the same weight as far as the physical lifting of the bike. And just to give you an emphasis, this is 110 kilos dry weight, and they really are pick up and downable. I have a video on my channel on how to pick up a bike, and the back squat definitely is not the best way to pick up a bike. Ignore the keyboard warriors. Check that video out for some good tips on that. Hey, thank you so much for being here on my channel. I want to do a particular thank you shout out to the channel members who are here helping me make this content happen. It takes a lot of time, resource and energy to plan, create, edit all of this free content for you on YouTube, and the subscription area is one of the things that really helps me keep going. So thank you to my current subscribers. If you're not a subscriber and you're interested, I will put a link below, and I just want to say a huge thank you. Make sure you say hi, let me know in the comments. If you do subscribe, you're going to get early access to all of my videos, so you'll see them a week before everybody else. You're going to get some special custom emojis, which I made, and priority comment replies. All perks of being a subscriber to my YouTube channel. And thanks in advance. Shall I draw you a motorbike? Oh. So the weight isn't the reason. Often you think, oh, it's a bigger bike because it's a 501, but it's not actually heavier. But be careful with that statement, because what's more important to the feel of the bike is what's going on inside the engine. And the 501 does have a bigger engine than the 350. There's a lot more rotating mass, and so it does feel like a bigger, heavier bike. That's not necessarily a bad thing. Now, having ridden this around Tasmania on every single type of terrain you could possibly imagine, trust me, Tasmania has everything, including Tasmanian devils. But the key thing with the 501 is that it has so much torque. It's got 64 horsepower in there. With that weight, it is an unbelievable power to weight ratio. And with that amount of torque, You basically can be in any gear and at any time just go, let's go, and it will just pull through. It is such a forgiving and easy bike to ride. Because it is got that power, I don't think I've been in the wrong gear this week. I have, obviously, but generally it is just so easy to ride because it has that power. It will just pull through. If you want to do big road sections, fast sections, sand, it's got enough power to just deal with it. This is amazingly stable and comfortable on the road. The big 501 engine also means that it's got a huge amount of engine braking. I have got a video coming to my channel on engine braking, what it is, how to use it, all that kind of stuff. So if you're not sure what I mean, check out that video. But the engine braking makes this bike absolutely phenomenal, particularly for the road riding, because it's such a beautiful way of braking into the corners really smoothly. And it's a very, very rideable bike. Because it has engine mappings, you can have it on the softer mode or the more aggressive road. And it does actually feel surprisingly agile and nimble and fun. I say it's got all the power you could possibly need, possibly a little bit more power than some people would need. And it just makes riding really, really easy. Now, if we then turn to the 350, the 350 is the same weight bike. It's going to feel a little bit lighter because it hasn't got the same amount of rotating NAS. And because it is a smaller engine, it's going to be a little bit more lively, and you're going to need to ride it more lively and a bit more aggressive. You're going to have to shift through the gears a bit more. You're going to need to think a little bit more about what it is you're doing, when you're doing it. So I guess the key difference there is that the 500 has got all the power to just pull on through, let you be lazy, have a good time. The 350 takes a little bit more thinking, a little bit more riding, and can feel a bit more agile and lively. Now, neither of one of those is a positive or a negative. If you are a less confident rider, it would be easy to look at the 500 and think it's going to be a way easier bike to ride, and it probably would be. But is it going to teach you to ride better? You're probably, from my experience, going to improve your riding skill quicker on a smaller bike. So an example I have of this was with my hard enduro riding journey. I started on a 250 and I ended up going, you know what, I need to pull back. And I went down onto a 150 and I rode a 150 for a while, which was a smaller bike. It was a lighter bike. And my goodness, I have never been in the wrong gear more times in my life than I have on that 152 stroke. Once I built the confidence to really rev it, to really use the gearing, really get the engine revving, getting it singing up hill climbs, I then went up to a 250, and I still also ride a 300 two-stroke. But by riding the 150, I learned so much that I can now really utilize and get the most benefit out of the 300. They're all things to think about. As I said, it's not possible for anyone to tell you what is the perfect bike for you. You need to think about the sort of riding you're doing as well. If you are doing a lot of really tight, twisty, muddy woods in England, the 350 is probably going to be a better, more agile bike for you. If you're looking at doing a bit more road linkage, longer days, bigger distances, slightly less technical terrain, maybe then the 500 is going to be a better suit. But what I also would tell you though is that you can do some really technical terrain on a 500 as well. Like we did the infamous Climbys Trail here, we did rainforests where you're having to look at what's on the ground and above the ground, and you're going over rocks and trees and water crossings. The 500 is a really capable bike as well. If you're wanting to put luggage on, the rotating mass and the stability of the 501 was probably going to be a little bit more capable at holding more on the back as far as luggage. Both of them are going to give you the same options as far as customizations of bigger tanks, more comfortable seats, lowering suspension, all that kind of things. They're going to be the same options as far as tires and mousses and inner tubes, all that kind of thing. But hopefully this has given you a little bit of other things to think about when it comes to picking between a 350 and a 501. It's a really, really big topic. I really would encourage you to go somewhere where you can have a go on the two different sizes in the same terrain, in the same conditions, and see which one feels right for you. Or just go for it, because you know what the beautiful thing is about motorbikes? Is you can buy one and you can sell it if you don't like it. And you can buy another one and you can sell it if you don't like it. And actually, wildly, if you're really fortunate and can save the money, you could buy two and have one of each. Just going a bit crazy now. I know that is the dream world. How many bikes can we have in our garage? We can all live and dream, right? Anyway, I'm going to stop waffling. I'm Vanessa Ruck, the girl on a bike. Let me know if you've got any questions, if any of this has spiked any kind of thoughts, if there's anything you think I've missed in the whole topic conversation about the differences in the size of bikes. Get them in the comments. I really love to hear from you. Please make sure you tick the bell and hit subscribe so you get notifications of my future videos as well. I'm Vanessa Ruck, the girl on a bike. And having just done a week on the 501 with the Ultimate Cape Escape in Tasmania, make sure you watch that YouTube series as well. I'm going to just take a moment to have a cup of tea, breathe, and suck up some of this beautiful Tasmanian weather. It's really nice to be warm. Thanks for watching.